Did Maggie finally find her father after searching for 54 years?
He says, "I think you have a daughter." And I said, "What?" I couldn't believe this.
A woman discovers relatives she never knew existed.
And I found out that I had a cousin.
Oh.
And she was a half-cousin. Reached out to her, and I found out that her grandfather's name was John William Ryan, which was the name of my father.
And now you'll meet two people whose lives were changed forever in the two cases of lost relatives.
I was in the military. I went in on the buddy system. There were 6 of us, and we joined, and we all wanted to go to Vietnam. And this would have been in 1963. And unfortunately, I was the only one that went to Vietnam. My friends, one went to Korea, one went to Germany. But while in Vietnam, I did have a girlfriend. And I was out in the field for about a month. And I come back, and I found that my girlfriend didn't think I was coming back, so she got a new boyfriend. Well, a few weeks later, she told me she was pregnant. And I'm thinking, well, can't be me, you got to be the other guy, right? So about a month later, I was sent home, and that was the end of my tour. And about 54 years later, I get a phone call and from a gentleman, and he asked if I was in Vietnam. I said yes. He said, was I transportation? Yes. Was I in Vung Tau? Yes. He says, "I think you have a daughter." And I said, "What?" I couldn't believe this. And he asked me if she could call me, and I said yes. I said I would appreciate it. So she calls me. Her name is Maggie. She calls me and she says, "Yep." She said, "I've been looking for you for over 50 years." And she says, I think I found you. Well, I was just, I was so happy, but I was still just a little leery. I thought, And I do have 3 daughters with Pat. And they said, "Well, Dad, you should have a DNA test, And I thought, okay. So we had the blood test. It confirmed she was my daughter. Wow. And my daughters accepted her as a sister, and my wife as a daughter, and she's in our family now. We had one addition 50 years later. Wow. And it's great, and I thank God for that.
If stories of hope, reunion, perseverance inspire you, please subscribe to True and Credible Stories so you never miss another remarkable journey. Thank you so much for watching.
So you want to hear my incredible story?
I do.
Okay, so I'm going to make this short. My dad died when I was 4, and he was adopted. So I grew up not knowing if he had any relatives, because I didn't know. I only met his I've only met his adopted parents twice, my grandparents, when I was quite young. And so I've always wondered, where did he come from? I knew he was Irish, and I thought maybe his parents immigrated, and possibly his mother died, and there were like 9 or 10 kids, and so maybe there's siblings out there. So I went to Ancestry.com, and I found his adoption.
23andMe first.
I did 23andMe, and I did Ancestry.com, and I got his adoption papers and found out that his birth name was John William Ryan. And one day I was looking at Ancestry that I got a hit, and I found out that I had a cousin.
Oh.
And she was a half-cousin. Reached out to her, and I found out that her grandfather's name was John William Ryan, which was the name of my father. And then I connected with her. I found out that my grandfather was my dad's father. So I also found out that he had 3 half-siblings. The first one was called John William Ryan. He said he was the first. I said, no, you're the second. They were only 15 months apart. They both fought in the war. And he had a half-sister. And now my cousin and I are friends. She's a lawyer in New York, and Hannah's a lawyer here. So anyway, she is going to write a book about my grandfather. And right now, my cousin and I are doing a search for my grandmother.
Wow.
Because My grandmother was it's a long story, but my grandfather was not married to my grandmother. And anyway, gave up my father when he was 18 months old, married and had a second family, and now I have a new cousin, and I have a new experience on where I came from. And the funny thing is, he was Irish and spent a lot of time in England, and I happened to marry a British guy and spent half of my time in England,
Wow.
half my time in the U.S.
Well, that's awesome. Well, thank you.